Hello Patland family, my name is Mike Patland, and I am so excited to have you here with me today because we are going to explore some truly special bottles. One of my favorite wines in our portfolio is the Proprietary Red Wine, and this one has perhaps more history than anything else that we produce, so I thought it'd be fun to dig into its evolution a bit. When my family took over Terra del Cuore in 2007, there were a few acres of vines planted on the property already. If you walk through the vineyards today, you'll see that we never changed the signs. They still show the varieties that were originally planted, which include Syrah, Merlot, and Sangiovese. Now, it's no surprise that Sangiovese would be planted on a property that looks like it was transplanted here from Tuscany itself. The idea was to have a wine come off the property that matched the estate's Italian inspiration. And so, before my family took over, there was an extremely limited production of a wine called Terra del Cuore coming off the property. The wine was indeed given the same name as the place it was coming from, meaning Land of the Heart. This wine was never sold to the public, and only a rare few bottles were left here in the cellar. Have a look. In our first vintage, we produced 3 different wines, a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Syrah, and a red blend. That 2007 vintage of the Proprietary Red Blend actually contained the same varieties as the original Terra del Cuore wine. But even back then, the estate was destined to change. Having grown up in the Bay Area, my parents were much more passionate about the New World style Cabernet that Napa Valley was known for, as opposed to anything that seemed a little more European. So they consulted with their vineyard manager and winemaker, and soon enough, all the vines on the property were grafted to Malbec. Now, even Malbec was a leap of faith for my parents, but we've been incredibly rewarded for it. Ever since then, and beginning with the 2008 vintage, the Proprietary Red Blend has been comprised of 3 components: Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, and Malbec. And once in a while, some Petit Verdot would make its way in there. It's kind of our take on a Meritage blend, but with a twist. I'll frequently describe the Proprietary Red Wine as the one that you shouldn't feel bad about drinking this month. That's what it's there for. While most of our wines will age beautifully, this one doesn't hurt to open right out the gate. This blend brings together the best aspects of its various components, and that's exactly what a good blend should do. You'll consistently find high-toned aromatics and umami flavor supplied by the Syrah. The Malbec that we harvest and incorporate into this wine is always exceptionally ripe, and that gives a lot of time for its fruit flavors to develop. And it's always really heavy with the blue fruit and the black fruit, a lot of fresh baked blueberry pie and black plum skin. The base is always one of Cabernet, and that's an incredible platform to showcase some of these oak flavors of baker's chocolate and cocoa powder and brown sugar. This is a seamlessly integrated wine, one that'll impress on its own or at the next steak dinner. If your go-to cut is a ribeye, then this wine has the tannin structure to stand up to it. If you're like me and you prefer filet mignon, then the umami flavors here, that savory component, is going to complement that cut really nicely. And if you're lucky enough to have an older vintage of this one stashed away somewhere, say an 07 or an 08 or even the 09, then it's got the longevity to make it the star of your evening. You're not going to be disappointed if you crack open an old bottle of this wine. If you haven't already tasted this wine, I invite you to. Whether you're a cab lover or looking for something more eclectic, everyone can find something to love in this wine. Cheers.